fancy. They look really good.
Upgrades.
Here we go. Grab your Modelos. Let's do a little quick sound check. Chickity check, check, check. Chickity check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chickity check, check, check. Chickity check yourself. All right. Sounds good.
Oh, I need a cough button. I just cleared my throat.
Is there a cough button? Is that like the 7-second curse button, but for coughing?
Yeah, there's a thing you can get where you put it in your mic line, and you hit it, and you got a cough. It just mutes you.
Oh, nice.
It's a mute button for your own mic.
Call it the C. Well, I can't say the word, but call it the C button. The C button. We have dude, what is it? Labor Day is great, but it's also like there's so much hope that's filled with Memorial Day. Like you're just ready to go. On Labor Day, it's cool. You know, don't get me wrong, but it's like it is the end of something.
What are we celebrating on Labor Day? The fact that we've worked all year?
Yeah, I know. That's what it feels like. Just take a break. No, treat yourself. You
have a day
yourself.
off.
Yeah, I don't know. What is Labor Day? Google machine. What is Labor Day?
Yeah, don't ask Siri.
Observed in oh no. Labor Day it's a federal holiday in the U.S. celebrating on the first Monday in September to honor and recognize the American labor movement and the works. And works and contributions of laborers, develop an achievement of the U.S. The 3-day weekend it falls on is called Labor Day weekend. So yeah, it literally is celebrating work.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
Way to go, work. Thanks for letting us show up.
Work is different. Think of like going to work in 1950 versus going to work in 2022.
How's it different?
It's very well, kind of like flying in the 50s. You couldn't fly in pajamas in the 50s, but you can work in pajamas in 2022.
You couldn't walk because it was like obscene.
Yes. Why I never.
It was obscene to fly in pajamas. You couldn't do that. It's scandalous.
No. But how much more comfortable is it? And really, what are you doing except just sitting there? And the people are smaller too, so I don't know about you, but just being in a suit is not very comfortable. We'll be back. Here's video. What's up, tubes? We got some more upgrades. I like how we got a little more colors. That backdrop is. We made the jump. Are we allowed to give a plug? No.
What's that? Plug what?
Plug our what? Like you want to do like a check out all our new stuff?
Yeah, check out our well, I mean, I'm still working out the kinks here.
Yeah.
We've got some new visuals.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Well, it looks purple. It looks Eastery.
Yeah.
It's like the Easter colors.
Purple is the color of royalty.
Yes, it is royalty. That's right.
Yeah, it's appropriate.
Who's your favorite pro wrestling king of all time?
How many has there been?
There's been more than there should have been.
Well, I mean, WWE has a king every year.
Yeah.
Male and female.
Correct.
So how am I supposed to choose?
I mean, I'm going with, you got to go with the classic. You got to go with Jerry the King Lawler. But coming in second, man, it would be tough to pick between the King, Harley
Macho
Race.
King.
Macho King. King Haku.
King Mabel, JJ says?
Yeah, King Mabel. He was another one. Before he went on a mission. What's up, Podcat? But, yeah. It was always strange that, you know, when Vince picked gimmicks, he always like, you know, the whole thing was just like punishing Dusty, so giving him polka dots. I always wondered, was that a shot at Jerry Lawler by giving Harley Race the King gimmick back in WrestleMania 3? I don't know if that was
I've
ever.
never heard that.
And then now Jerry Lawler has more of a career in WWE proper than Harley Race did. He wasn't there very long, but he was tough, man. He's one of the guys that when you punched him in the stomach, because it looked like it was big, it was like punching a brick wall. He had rock hard abs underneath. I don't know I never met him, but you heard the stories. He's one of the guys that would go, if you were in a bar fight, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. So you start fights on purpose?
Yeah, if you wanted to do that.
I used to have a buddy like that. People would just stand behind him and start fights.
Oh man, but I back on Labor Day, dude. I get psyched. You get a little bit of energy. It's not like, you know how you get the energy the break before Thanksgiving, and then you get a lot of energy the break before the Christmas holiday. You get that energy for Memorial Day, so you're psyched. But it's still the end of summer. Are you a summer guy or a fall guy?
I'm definitely more of a fall guy.
You're a fall guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer just reeks of hot sweat.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to find people that lived in Texas a long time to say that they're summer folk.
Isn't it always strange when people come down here and like, oh, I love the heat. It's so awesome to be in the. I guess if you live up in the cold though, I could see how you'd feel that way, but try it all year.
Well, when I moved here, I told people I don't have to shovel sunshine. So that was my story. Yeah.
That's a shirt.
Yeah, that is a shirt. But don't tell California. Although, did you see? I don't know who did it, and that we don't have a political wing of Dos Incredibles Network. But did you see somebody put up an anti-don't move to Texas billboard in California?
What is that? What is an anti-don't move to Texas billboard?
Yeah, basically it had the don't mess with Texas, but then it had the Ghostbusters crossed out in there, and it's just like the dream of Texas died. And it was
So mess with Texas?
Yeah, I guess it
was that the message?
Mess with Texas. Don't move to Texas for sure was the message. And I couldn't tell if it was a Texan billboard put up in California or people are just tired of people leaving California. Like, stay a while.
I mean, is there enough folks in California? Are they feeling lonely? It's pretty crowded out there.
It is pretty crowded out there too. So. But it is getting crowded here too. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So anyway, that was a little bit of we're all over for our audio test. But we got some stuff we want to chat about because speaking of, we were talking about this before the stream. The movie season always kicked off with Memorial Day. With the first weekend in May was like the first big movie, and then the next big movie would be Memorial Day when they try to get it out. But the summer movie season ends with Labor Day, which is usually where they dump a horror movie that costs $5 million to make, and they're probably going to make $15 million.
They're putting out the stuff that was left over from the summer.
Yeah.
They had no confidence in.
Right. But I feel like
filler till the Oscar movies come out.
I feel like though it's very confusing time right now because, theaters are still struggling. Like there doesn't feel like there's a cadence yet. Like, do you feel like there was a ton of summer blockbusters? I don't feel like there was.
No, but we're still feeling the movie shortage.
Yeah.
Blockbuster movies, remember, they take 2 years to make. So we're still in that lull. We're still in the pandy lull of where movies were slow to produce and got expensive. And, I think kind of sloppy. I feel like that's going to be one of the hallmarks when people think back about the Hollywood era of during the pandy.
Yes.
It's like the movies were kind of sloppy.
They were sloppy.
Except for Top Gun, apparently, which everybody loved.
Are you, and I am one of those marks that actually, yes, I do go to, even though it's Amazon kind of messed it up, but I still go to Box Office Mojo. I game the system.
How do you go? It's unreadable.
Yeah, it's very difficult to read now, but I still look for the weekend stats like you read sports. Are you okay that Top Gun Maverick is creeping up as the number 4 domestic of all time, creeping up on Black Panther?
I find it strange.
I find it very strange, right?
I mean, that movie did not affect me the way it affected most people, I don't think. Thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem outstanding. And there was nothing in it that I said, oh, wow, this is so different and entertaining and in a different way. It didn't change me. I felt the same after it was over.
Yeah. People do feel really like, I think you had a lot of return viewing for this too. And I'm a huge mark for Miles Teller, especially after the show. Check out our playlist, Why Aren't You Watching? Help created by JJ. What's up, JJ? That was kind of your playlist. It's dedicated to you. But you put The Offer in there. And that, I was already, Whiplash. I was already kind of into Miles Teller. He his whole Fantastic Four experiment with all those guys, it didn't really work. But, man, he was fantastic in The Offer.
Did you see Whiplash?
Yeah.
Whiplash was great.
Yeah, Whiplash was awesome. So I mean, he's definitely he's going on the stage someday, but he was good in it too. And he had shout out to Mike. I don't know if your mic's on yet. He's on West Coast time, so he might not. He was rocking that Goose Jr. mustache before, that was showing up on Top Gun. So I don't know. Is our audio off sync?
Our audio's off sync?
Maybe. I don't know. I do have that weird I'm a man without a country accent where you can't tell where I'm from. So maybe it's me.
Let me try this.
Yeah, let's try it. We're going to do a test. Yo, there's Mike. What's up, Mike? Yeah, we're talking about your Goose Jr. mustache that you were rocking that well before Top Gun is trying to bring that back.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I think it's okay. Are we still off sync, team?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
I don't know.
In the chat.
It is the new. Like I said, I'm trying out the Streamlabs Prime. So maybe something. I don't know. But anyway.
But Mike brought up a good point talking about. I don't even know if they have that on there. They used to have the #1 movie of all time adjusted for inflation. But it would be interesting to see those numbers adjusted for inflation at the box office for sure. But Top Gun, I mean, it was big when it came out.
It was the biggest. It was like the biggest home video ever, I think.
That's what it was home.
It was like the first top big selling home video.
Yeah, I don't know. I get a little bit bothered. I did get pulled in a little bit into the hype of Avatar versus Endgame for sure, for the #1 global of all time.
But it's a work, bro. It's the same company.
It is a work now. Yeah, now it's irrelevant. But before that, it wasn't, right? Because this was before. No, they already owned it. They already owned both by then. But yeah, Disney doesn't care. It's the Cola Wars that they're both in on it and gamifying. But I definitely got into it. But I don't know. I am excited. We're going to talk a little bit about this. This weekend is the weekend that being released for the first time ever in IMAX, like Starcade, the granddaddy of them all, the granddaddy of summer blockbusters, Jaws. Oh, did I do that?
No, I did that. I was trying. Okay. Streamlabs is a lot. Okay. No, continue. Sorry. I was trying to pull up a Jaws image.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just talking about the Jaws being the granddaddy of them all. There was no summer blockbusters per se until Jaws. Like, that literally changed movie going for sure, because there really wasn't. I mean, there was some, I feel like there was event films, but not on this scale.
There was not event films.
No. I mean, the closest, like, before that's because Jaws was 75. So you had 73. You had The Exorcist that was but that was more of like a word of mouth. You got to go see the scariest movie of all time. It wasn't really like event film. Where Jaws was, this is back even before VHS, and it had a lot of re-releases. It was an event that if it was coming back to theaters, you had to go see it. I saw it numerous times in the theaters before I even saw it on VHS. Sorry, I didn't turn off my Slack. Can I give people the finger live on the air?
Sure.
But I don't know. Do you have any, I mean, you're younger than me. Do you have any memories of seeing Jaws in the theaters?
I did not see Jaws in the theater.
No.
I told you I was terrified of horror movies as a kid.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that.
But I never saw that one. And actually, I have memories of seeing, thinking it was Jaws, but it was actually Jaws 2. Because I remember Jaws 2 more vividly than the first Jaws.
Really? Come on.
Yeah, because I always remembered. I remember the first time being a little older and sitting down to watch Jaws, and then got to the end. It's like, where's the part where he eats the power line?
Oh,
I was waiting for that part the whole time.
Come on, take a big bite. You're right. It kind of did blend in a little bit too.
I think back in the day when they used to make sequels, they really shot for that, where they would blend them in together.
Yeah. Well, and what were your feelings on Jaws 2? I mean, obviously, it wasn't going to be as iconic, but it's still good.
Say that again?
Like your feelings on Jaws 2.
Jaws 2 is great.
Yeah.
I love Jaws 2. I have no heat with Jaws 2 at all. Like I said, I think it's a great back-to-back viewing.
And Jaws 3?
Jaws 3D only exists in strange formats.
Yeah, you were telling me about that too.
Yes, that is an AI poster, JJ.
Oh yeah,
check out Robo Mojo on.
Yeah, Robo Mojo. They definitely did. They
Instagram.
did make another AI. So so anyway, what I was saying was I've seen Jaws on all different types of formats, different theaters. I've seen it in the balcony. I've seen it on the water. I've seen it in 3D, fake 3D, whatever. But now going to see it in IMAX this weekend.
So it's blown up to IMAX? What is the process for turning Jaws into an IMAX?
That's what I'm really curious myself, because I just don't know how that's going to work. Like, I mean, clearly it's already been restored and digitalized, so it's safe from film rot. But how are you going to take a film that was shot in 1975 and played on IMAX and fill up most of that screen? How's that? Is that
that's
possible?
what I don't understand. So, because I mean, they're blowing it up to a format that it was not even shot on. So it's like, what is it going to look like? Is it going to fill the screen?
I don't know.
I don't think it can even fill the screen. It'll be like letterboxed.
It has to be, right? Like, I remember even seeing the third Matrix, the Matrix Revolutions in IMAX. I'm like, oh, they're doing it in IMAX, and that didn't fill up the screen. Like, I've never seen... So, The Dark Knight, some of the scenes filled up the screen. Interstellar, I saw a lot of Avatar... And I'm not talking about the gimmicked. I'm sorry, they're gimmicked IMAX at the theaters because they don't fit it. You need to go to a museum where the screen is everywhere. And those were the only few movies that literally filled up the screen that made it feel like you were watching IMAX.
It used to be only the Alamo movie that you could see in IMAX.
Right.
The Battle of Freedom or whatever. Yeah. And there was only a couple movies that were in legit IMAX because it was, they didn't have it at the mall.
Yeah, no. You got to see it in theater. So I am going to Story of Texas, Bob Bullock, IMAX. It starts actually Friday, and they have like 5 days that they're showing it. So are you going to try to catch it?
Yeah, definitely. If I want to try and catch it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the summer. It's nice, right? Because Labor Day is when summer movies ends, but we're going to end it on the biggest summer movie of all time. I still think that is considered the best movie of all time. Well, there's Anthony. He put a yin yang in the chat. I don't know how he did that. He's making magic there in the
nice.
Yeah. How do we do that? How him do that? They need gift support, but you imagine what these chats would look like if they had gift support in there. It would look like a Discord board. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, he's got fire. He's got 100, no
200, 200, hot 200. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Welcome, Anthony. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. They are releasing in real 3D as well this weekend. So if you do want to see it, if you don't want to go to an IMAX, you can actually go see it in real 3D as well. Maybe in Regal, because you could possibly save them, because I don't know if they're still declaring bankruptcy the last I heard.
I'm telling you, we should go ahead and bid on it.
Just go $1, Bob. So I don't know. We've been through this before. Did we pull up pictures of my dad, RIP? And I showed you those pictures.
I think you had some on your phone, but yeah, he totally looks like an extra on Jaws. If you want to show the folks.
I don't think I don't know if I saved him on here or not. So, but yeah, I mean, again, the whole shark fishing, growing up in Long Island. Actually, one of the first viewings of Jaws was in Bayshore, Long Island, New York. And if you've been to Bayshore, it very much looks like Amity. But Amity's a little bit more snooty, where I guess Long Island is a little bit more grounded, if you will. Have you ever been to Martha's Vineyard?
No.
No?
No.
So we're creeping up. We're only 3 years away from the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And they did a huge thing on Martha's Vineyard for the 40th anniversary of Jaws. I'm assuming they're going to have something big for the 50th. We might have to have a Dos Incredibles spot show for that one to see that, because
I'm down to go to Martha's Vineyard and watch Jaws.
It's great. I mean, it's a cool place to go. It's got good food, and I mean, you're eating the stuff that you're eating was swimming right at your feet just a few minutes ago, so you know it tastes fresh. But the last time I went to Martha's Vineyard, it was probably like six years ago. I did what they called the Jaws walking tour. And what they had,
you go to like different locations where they filmed the movie,
right? And the tour was led by one of the extras. He was actually one of the guys, I believe, that was in the store when Brody was trying to get all the supplies.
Somebody who was in Jaws is now like the mayor of Amity or something.
Yes.
Did you hear about this?
Yes, I did hear. But yeah, film it. I don't remember.
I think it was one of the kids.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It really, there's something about when a film is shot in a location, it makes that location iconic. Like we talked about, we want to do the show where we basically go to visit all the movie locations. And we went back, man, shit, can you believe that's already been a year? We went to the Texas gas station, right, where they shot Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've been to Mystic, Connecticut, Mystic Pizza. Over the summer, you saw I went to the Goonies Rock.
Oh, that's right.
Went to the Shining Hotel. There's just something cool about going to all these locations. And to me, Martha's Vineyard, again, also was the granddaddy of them all. To go there to see Jaws Beach. This is where I saw the picket fences where they were karateing the pickets.
What is that from?
From Jaws.
Karate and the pickets.
Remember when she was complaining to Chief Brody after he was running out there and she was trying to get help because the kids were breaking the fence? The karate students were karateing the pickets. So I highly recommend. I know this is something that you can see whenever you want, but it's going to be a cool experience to go see Jaws on the big screen again. They just did E.T. as well. That was 2 weeks ago. But
I saw E.T. was showing.
Yeah, but
I haven't seen that since like '84.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it in a long time.
I saw it in the.
That's one I just don't revisit. I don't know why. I've just never. Is it on TV very much? It's not, right?
No, I don't think it's. I don't.
Jaws is on all the time.
It is.
When there's no appropriate time to play E.T., I guess.
Yeah. No, you're right. I don't know when.
Why is E.T. never on television?
It is one of the ones that almost got a sequel too. So I don't know. It never kept its hype after one and done. Like
for a long time, it was the biggest movie of all time.
It was, yeah, for a long time. I think was Titanic the one that sunk it finally.
I think Titanic.
Oh no, Titanic. Oh yeah, but it was Star Wars and E.T. They were neck and neck for a while, and then Titanic.
No, E.T. blew Star Wars away.
It did, sure, yeah. But then you know what?
I think it was Titanic that eventually beat it.
Because it was the re-releases where they're going back and forth. Big Eminem keeps E.T. off TV. Yeah, I thought they were in the same family now. What's up, man? Why is Big Eminem trying to keep E.T. out of it?
But why is E.T. never on television? We should get to the bottom of this. I feel like this is important.
I don't know.
Jaws is on anything that's like a barbecue holiday, Jaws is on.
Yeah.
Star Wars is always on. They play 1 through 6 on TNT or whatever often.
Yeah, all the time.
Those cable channels.
Yep.
But you never see E.T. on at all. E.T. doesn't have a holiday. There's not a holiday where you watch E.T.
No. Abduction Day?
Yeah.
Is there an abduction day?
Is it because it's not like a fun content?
And I feel like
the subject matter.
It may be not holding up as well as those other two films you just mentioned. Because Steven Spielberg didn't go back and change much. The only thing he changed is when they came running out of the white van, he digitally replaced the rifles with flashlights. And then he went back and undid it because he said it felt weird doing that.
That was lame.
So is it possible that it just is not holding up anymore?
I think that maybe it's ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the best way to put it. It's not a handsome film.
If you think about it, look at E.T. Is that something you want to revisit?
What are those pecs? Does he have implants?
And it's not even really that well done.
Yeah.
He's not cute. The finger's creepy. Would any kid want to watch this?
Yeah, that might. And that's the trivia. That was on our trivia, right? Who was the voice of E.T.?
Who was the voice of E.T.?
You don't remember that in our trivia?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, do you have do you have the timer to see if you can guess? Well, I guess since you don't know, but
I don't.
It's a fun trivia question. The voice of E.T. was voiced by Deborah Winger. That's right.
Really?
Officer and a Gentleman, Urban Cowboy, the the movie where Billy Crystal was a NBA referee.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Deborah Winger was the voice of E.T.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
How did she get that gig?
I don't know.
Had she not had Urban Cowboy yet?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a good question. E.T. was 82. So it might have been around the same. It was Urban Cowboy 81.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might be around there.
But I love that movie.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Urban Cowboy than E.T. anytime.
Urban Cowboy has not gotten any kind of re-release in theaters.
Well, didn't you say it's getting remade?
That was the rumor. Our friend of the show, Joel Carpenter, he's a film producer. He owns the rights to an article that was Mickey Gilley's, and he's really heavily pushing. And I think they're in the fundraising stage right now of making what would be the equivalent of Gilley's IRL, which was Urban Cowboy.
But Gilley's was an IRL place because that was the movie was based on Gilley's. That's how they decided we should make a movie set here with John Travolta.
Yeah,
that was the kickoff.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, it held up really well. But that's the whole idea. They're going to go back and revisit it and have a Gilley's, which I think it would be really good, especially if they do it where it's they keep it time period appropriate. I think that would be awesome.
I would hate that.
No, you wouldn't want to.
No, it's got to stay in the 80s, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I thought you meant like the.
No, I mean time period appropriate. It has to be in the 80s. Like you can't shoot it now.
Yes,
I don't want to
exactly.
see Gilley's in 2020.
I don't want to see people with cell phones at Gilley's.
No, and I just don't think it works either, because there's, yeah, I mean that's a whole nother. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion on the clientele that would be in Gilley's in 2022 versus the clientele that were in Gilley's in the 80s. I think it would be a different beast, but I don't know. That was my slow spot. Do you want to jump into? Well, I feel like we're in wrestling. Let's say.
Still got the ET up here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, leave ET up there. But I think this is a good pivot. You want to jump into a retro movie review before we get into wrestling, because we got to talk about All Out. We got to talk about Clash at the Castle. We're going to be doing a live show Sunday, which is going to be a post show for Clash at the Castle, but a pre-show for AEW All Out. And these two companies have been battling, and I feel like they're setting up really well to both companies to pull out the stops. But before we get into that, let's talk about Land of the Dead. You've been pushing me to watch this. You told me it was on Shudder. It was the fourth film in the Of the Dead series.
The fourth film.
After Day.
After Day.
So
made like 20 or 30 years later, because it was basically after zombies got hot again.
Yeah.
I think it was even after the Dawn of the Dead remake. And there was like, hey, George Romero's not doing anything. Should we just let him make a zombie movie for us?
And he did.
It makes sense.
And he made Land of the Dead with John Leguizamo.
Well, it's your first time watching. I told you I've seen it several times.
Yeah.
I think it's an enjoyable rewatch. I prefer it today.
I do prefer today as well.
I think actually Dawn of the Dead and Land of the Dead is a nice double feature. But anyway, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think the only thing that I guess got me, because I haven't seen Day of the Dead, was one of the ones that I just didn't watch on repeat like I did the others. Like I mean, we just watched Night of the Living Dead 2 months ago, right? Dawn of the Dead was something that was always just like in a recurring. But Day of the Dead, even with Bub, it was good. I mean, it was good, but it just didn't have. I don't know if that's when it dropped. Whether it's timing, it just wasn't on our TV all the time. So what got me was I forgot that the zombies started to get smarter again.
That's what was going on in Day, right? The zombies were turning babyface.
Yep. So I didn't know that they went even more in, and they had that main zombie, which was the mechanic, that went out there and started to kind of like rally the zombie troops, like show them how to shoot a machine gun. But they had a lot of really good Romero-like elements in there. I loved the idea that they basically had a stunt super bus called Dead Reckoning that they would use for zombie cleanups, and then it was run by the rich scumbag, which happened to be legendary Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper was great.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper was really good in there. I did not know Asia Argento was in there. Did you know that she was?
I did. I knew she was in it. I mean, I remember her. I remember she was always in it. But I mean, she had some. She did a lot of acting in the early 2000s. She had some big roles.
And she was the one that ended up marrying Anthony Bourdain before he passed, right?
Yeah, and she's also the daughter of
Dario, right?
Dario.
Yeah.
Dario co-produced Dawn of the Dead. So I mean, there's
he co-produced that?
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, he co-produced that, and he edited the European version and stuff.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. So the casting was on. John Leguizamo was great. Yeah, I mean, it was solid. I dug it. Like I said, The Walking Dead started to toy with this, and at the time it wasn't accepted really well, and they didn't realize that they were just kind of setting up for the Whisperers storyline of zombies getting smart, because it kind of goes against what the zombie. But Return of the Living Dead had smart zombies, right?
Those zombies were geniuses.
Yeah.
Like when you the Tarman zombie is like using a pulley at one point to open a door, remember?
Yes.
He's like hooks it up with a chain and he's using a pulley to open the door. So he makes no qualms about them running. Like the Dan O'Bannon zombies could just do whatever they want.
Yeah, they were all
They're smart. They make jokes.
Yes.
They have sense of humor. They can operate, simple machinery. But like the Romero old school zombies are just slow moving flesh eaters. Here's what I thought was interesting about Land of the Dead, because I think there was a few other Dead movies after Land of the Dead, but I think it was intended to be the last one when they made it. I think that was intended to be the final one. Romero comes back and makes the closer. I thought it was interesting how you've got, I don't know what the guy is, the leader zombie is called in Land of the Dead. He has a name.
He does
Bubba
have a name?
Ray. I feel like it's Bubba or something like that.
Well, Bub was the Day of the
It's
Dead.
not Bub. I don't know what his name was. But anyway, it's funny that you go back to the first Night of the Living...
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
First Night of the Living Dead, you have, your African-American lead who is sort of like surviving the zombie apocalypse and is the most together, the most sane, and the hero of the movie, right? Who then's like kind of killed unjustly.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this film series, now we've flipped completely, where now it's just like the zombies are the good guys. And now the zombies are out to get revenge. And you've got your African-American lead, this time now leading the zombies instead of the human survivor crew.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That was an interesting game.
That was a good callback. Because, the way it ended, it was the Riley character was just like, no, just let them go. They're trying to find a place just like us. You knew this was we got to go through some of the names of some of these characters. I thought that was really good. Hold on, let me do my Clark Kent. Because those are just the Clark. Now I need the Superman glasses, which are a little bit different. All right, so these characters' names. So John Leguizamo was Cholo. Dennis Hopper, Kaufman, just Simon Baker, Riley. But then Asia Argento was Slack. Eugene Clark was Big Daddy. Robert Joy was Charlie. He was in some other movies, and I couldn't place... He was definitely one of those character actors that I kept wanting to go back. But he was the one that was considered... I don't know, what do you want to call it? Special ed? Because he got pulled out of the fire. But he was in
Simple Jack?
Yeah, he was in Atlantic City and Desperately Seeking Susan. That's where I couldn't remember where else I've seen him from. But yeah, he's also in Resurrection. But I was just, and then you had these character names. Pretty Boy, Foxy, Motown, Pillsbury, which was the big Samoan. Malaote.
That was my favorite guy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
We should do something.
Yes. And I did actually hear this morning that Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright played zombies in Land of the Dead too.
Yeah, they're in the zombie carnival. They're the ones that they've got them like strapped up, and folks are throwing tomatoes at them. Or something.
I didn't know that. So you did spot him. I didn't know where. Oh yeah, photo booth zombie, and then obviously you couldn't miss Tom Savini and his sex machine, but he was Machete Zombie. Was his name in that one, but it was just very cool, very George Romero like character names. So I was just like, okay, yeah, this was fun, but it was fun. Again, I don't remember much it felt like it was going to be the closer. Let me just read the story of Land of the Dead deals with the zombie assault on Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where a feudal-like government exists. The survivors in the film have fled to the Golden Triangle area of downtown Pittsburgh. The region is protected on two sides by rivers and on the third by an electric barricade that survivors term the Throat. And that was basically an electrified fence, and if they try to get there, they get fried. But the zombies started getting wise to it, that they realized if they touched it, they were going to get electrocuted, and then they stopped. But the rich and powerful lived in a luxury high-rise called Fiddler's Green, which wasn't that just in The Sandman? Was that the name of...
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a reference to some kind of poem or something.
Yeah, Fiddler's Green. Mike, I don't know if you're still on. I think that's what that character's name was in there, the Stephen Fry character. But yeah, I mean, the budget was... It's weird to think that it came out in 2005. That's not... I mean, although that's almost 20 years ago, that's still in the late 2K. So this was a late 2K zombie movie and made on a $15 million budget.
I was about to say, I didn't think 50 million.
15, it made
No one
50.
gave George Romero 50 million.
It made 50, but it was made on 15 budget. So I don't know. I dug it. I loved having John Leguizamo in there as a badass. He's good, man. How come he never got his Oscar?
Why has he done an Oscar movie?
Has he?
He hasn't done a lot of... Well, I guess he just did a drama not too long ago, but
I mean,
he's not known for his drama.
I mean, he's Benny Blanco from the Bronx. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's the closest maybe he could get it, but I don't know. He always brings some gravitas to it. But I feel like now maybe this is kind of his genre.
Someone just brought him up the other day at work, actually. Got to work with him on a show, and they said he is legit the funniest person they'd ever met in person.
Yeah, I feel like he could let it rip too.
There's Mike. Fiddler's Green is an afterlife form from folklore in Europe.
Okay, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. That I guess that was their afterlife was in this high rise that Dennis Hopper was just strangely in charge of.
And Romero is never subtle with his commentary.
No.
Social commentary. He loves to cram it in there.
No, this one was all there. This one was right there. It had that was all about the haves and the have-nots.
There's some good lines in there I really liked.
What were some of your quotes that
what's the name of the guy with the bad eye?
Oh, that's Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
He goes to Riley and he's like, nice shooting, Riley. And Riley's like, you mean good shooting? There ain't no such thing as nice shooting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good line. He did say, "Or you want to take some bullets?" And it's like, I don't normally need that many. When he said how many bullets it can shoot, because that was his gimmick, right? He would just lick his fingers, and he had the little sniper rifle.
Not sure that helped in any way, but it was a nice gimmick.
Yeah, it was definitely
a good finisher.
Gimmick. I feel like this the Riley Denbo character, that could have been a character. What's his name? You know what I'm thinking about. He played the Punisher.
Oh, Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane, right? I feel like Thomas Jane could probably tried out to play Riley Denbo. I feel like he totally could have been in that. But,
so it could have been a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think, I was listening to, on Shudder, I was listening to the horror podcast with Edgar Wright, and he gets very defensive anytime that anyone calls Shaun of the Dead a zombie spoof.
It's not a spoof.
Yeah, he gets really... He's like, I get very offended. I'll accept you can call it a Valentine, but it is... What is happening in Pittsburgh during the Of the Dead Romero series, this is what was happening in London, Shaun of the Dead. Because he's like, we don't have any guns in London, so we're like... He said I think he said he was playing... Was it Resident Evil? Mm-hmm. And he said he was... And he told his girlfriend he wasn't going to be playing video games all night, and then when she left, he played video games all night, and it was like a Saturday night, and he said Sunday morning he woke up after playing a zombie game all night, and then goes walking out And he said the streets were empty, and he said he went to get something to eat, and the store was empty, and that's when he got the idea of Shaun of the Dead, of just like, what would happen right now if zombies are like, we have no weapons, we wouldn't know how to defend themselves. But it was really interesting to think that that Romero's series is that Shaun of the Dead is a cousin series, because George Romero was one of the first people that he showed the first cut of Shaun of the Dead to. I don't know if you knew that. And he basically wanted his blessing that, hey, this is a movie that I'm making in your universe with your rules, but it's going to be the London version. And he said, George Romero loved it. So it was cool to see that they were actually, Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright were both in Land of the Dead, because I guess on the set of Spaced is when they kind of shared their love for Night of the Living Dead. And then here we are some years later, and zombies are hotter than ever.
Are they hotter than ever?
Well,
are they at the end of their run, kind of?
I think they're at the end of their run. I guess you should.
Walking Dead's about to end, is it not?
Yeah, but it's going to splinter into 5 spin-offs.
They're just going to cancel it and turn it into 5 shows?
Yeah. So they got the Rick Grimes shows coming out with Michonne. Daryl's getting his own show. And Negan is going to... The one that's really... And I'm curious to see what happened to Rick. And Daryl is a great character. But if I had my druthers on what to pick to keep the zombie genre alive, the thought of Negan being on an island with his mortal enemy, with the wife of the man he killed, and he made a widow, and they're trapped on an island, and it's called Island of the Dead. That's the one that's a little bit more interested to me, because that was always the promise, right? Wasn't that Italian horror Zombie 2 with a Zombi that had the famous shark versus zombie scene? The whole idea was, why don't you just go where the zombies can't get to you? And in Day of the Dead, they figured out how to swim, but could they swim across the ocean? So an Island of the Dead could be interesting, because now you're taking basically what they did in Dawn of the Dead, but you're going to do it to an entire island, right? Maybe if you get a small land, small footprint, wipe out all the zombies there, now you should, in theory, be safe, other than if somebody boats one over, right?
I mean, it makes sense. The logic is sound.
Yeah.
I think you would do well in the zombie apocalypse if that ever happens.
It's just one of those things that you really don't know until it's happening. And for a while there, people were like assuming that it was inevitable, like any day now. And then people like, see what bath salts are doing. I just don't. I mean, I think the people being assholes part of the zombie apocalypse could happen. I mean, that happens on Black Fridays, but like the zombie portion where like animated corpses, I don't know. But clearly what we just lived, I mean, we know ailments can fly through the air pretty easy. So it is possible to be like in Walking Dead when he whispered, everybody's infected. What was that, rain?
It just started storming, yeah.
Holy smokes. A rainy night here, and we're talking about zombie. This is Interior Night, Dos Incredibles show. Talking about a zombie film, rain suddenly starts to spatter across the windows. Podcat lets out a meow.
That's solid writing. Yeah, no, that just freaked me out. That was really loud.
Yeah, that was loud. So, Jay, I don't know if you're out there, but yeah, feel free to drop any kind of spoilers that are happening, because I know there's a lot going on, and by the time we catch it, I'm okay with knowing what's going to happen first in this case. But this is the go-home show for AEW All Out. But yeah, I don't know, dude. You want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll grab a beer, and then we'll start pre-gaming our double wrestling Labor Day.
This events. Is a big wrestling weekend coming up, huh?
And then yeah, but we'll wet our whistle. Our friend on Twitter, Thunderrosa's biggest fan, he sent us a news article that we're gonna play, and then we'll lead into some wrestling right after a word from these badass sponsors.
faces at Rogers Video.
Hi, Video Sam's got exciting news for you. You can now rent a video overnight and hire these great movies from only 99 cents. But the best news is that by purchasing our special package plan, you can have this VCR absolutely free. Ring now, 892-3311 for details of this amazing offer. You could have a video at home tonight. Remember, 892-3311. Video Sam's libraries are convenient to you.
A video player, too. There's a store near you, sweetheart.
Movies tonight on video.
They're helpful and friendly with films for the whole family.
Movies tonight on video. Movies tonight on video.
That transition's a little bit awkward. I don't know.
Which one? The
this little grid transition thing that comes up when I
just keep thinking someone's swinging a lightsaber at my head when I hear it.
Mox just issued an open challenge for All Out. I'll bet we'll get a name before the show's done. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good way to start this segment. With a little AEW spoiler.
Yeah, because, well, when we were recording last week, we had no idea what was going to happen. And last week, that was the big... Everybody was shocked that Mox went over on Punk pretty clean and...
Fast.
Well, yeah, I guess it was clean in a sense where he literally just beat the crap out of him. Those elbows were numerous. They were definitely working snug. But it wasn't a shoot. And this is just my professional opinion. If you ever want to see if you want to elbow somebody for a shoot, you're elbowing them with the point, not with the back. So but I don't want to take away from is it real or is it Memorex, because the real part of it is it's a fantastic storyline. It's so good that nobody saw this coming, and then he went in there and just manhandled him, and then cut that promo afterwards saying, "Oh, was that not supposed to happen? Oh, did you not expect that?" Talk about putting Mox right back in the game with a bullet. I thought it was great.
I mean, AEW is solid, and that's why, again, so much heat right now behind the scenes, or at least alleged heat, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's hard to... you don't see it on screen in the show. I don't think the show is suffering, despite what, whatever... AEW's always had its critics, and that's not going to change. There's folks who don't like it, but I think the show is still solid and entertaining and enjoyable. They have issues, but all wrestling promotions have issues.
Yeah, no, they're still getting ratings, and I think they're going to. I don't think.
What's up, Victor Bravo?
Yeah, Victor, what's up, man? How's it going? But I don't think by any stretch that Discovery is going to not spend money on pro wrestling. There's just too much. It's too net. This isn't 1999 where you're like, well, we're going to turn our station into a genre station. We're in the middle of the content wars, man. Everybody needs content, and there's no way with Tony Khan, with the roster he has and the amount of hours that he can put up there and the amount of hours he can even go beyond that show is in any danger of being canceled. And at the same time, now that Triple H has proven that he's got the pencil solid in his hand and he's booking some solid shit. And we got 2 premium live events, pay-per-views coming up this weekend, back to back. Man, it's going to be good. And they're going to be trying to one-up each other.
Good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, this is because this is honestly what he needed. Because it felt like for a while that AEW was about to start running away with it, right? That it's just like WWE, people are tuning in to because of a habit, and AEW is what they were having fun. Like I saw a tweet that's like, hey, look, wrestling fans are having fun. Isn't that a unique idea? So I don't know. I'm excited for this weekend, but let's go over what's coming up first. I know we jumped.
Tell me, do you have the card there?
Yeah, I got the card.
For All Out?
Yeah. Well, let's do, you want to do All Out? All right, we'll do All Out first since I got it pulled up. So we got the AEW World Trios Championship Tournament Finals. This was a title that we were asking for for a long time. I actually would have preferred them not to have that All Atlantic title, and that they would have just did the Trios title, because they didn't really do anything with that.
And it's a nice belt.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking belt. I don't think you needed that one.
But the Bastard Pac, he's part of the Death Triangle.
Yeah.
So he's not really running solo, and every time he go, like, if he's fighting like the House of Black, they're all about, it's gang warfare, which is fun in pro wrestling, right? That's the NWO DX. That was always good. So I have no idea. Do you have any idea who you think they're going to put this on? They brought Kenny Omega back. Is the OG Elite, the Bucks and Omega, going to get this Trios belt? But then they got the House of Black, they got Death Triangle, they got Best Friends. I feel like it's going to be one of those four.
For my money...
Oh, okay. So JJ did say that Pac is out there defending the belt in other promotions. Now, that's cool. That I like.
Yeah, if it's going to be a rogue belt that he can take
that
to other promotions, I think that's great. I think they did a little bit of a... that's a fair critique of AEW. They added too many belts there in the last few months, too fast.
Well, they got a lot of guys, and they have all those Ring of Honor. But I would have been fine if you added those belts if they would have been on a different show.
Yeah,
not on the same show.
I mean, I don't know what's happened. I thought we were fast tracking to a new Ring of Honor show. I thought that was definitely where this was headed, or maybe Rampage was going to become Rampage of Honor. I don't know.
Oh man,
but
they need to.
I thought that's where that was headed, but it seems to just hit a stall.
Yeah, I hope that's what they do. And JJ, my friend Eric just texted me on that open challenge. He buried Punk. Is there a possibility that CM Punk is done? Do you think that's possible? Was Punk getting any heat?
I don't.
In the locker room? I don't know.
I mean, that's the rumor. I don't know. I don't know. That's hard to imagine. I feel like we would know.
Yeah, I feel so. I don't know. I'll look for it. But let's keep running down the card, because we got All Out. We got the Trios, the finals. Then we have
Best Friends is my pick.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's where we're going. Best. I would like to see that. That kind of gives Orange the belt, right? Wasn't he one of the pillars? It gives him his belt.
He was not one of the pillars, but he was definitely one of the early adopters.
He was,
and just one of the guys that would really benefit from a belt, because you would have expected him to be over the way he was.
Yeah.
And I think he's all... I mean, I just think Orange Cassidy probably has an expiration date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just give him the belt, let him have a run with the Trios. I think it'd be awesome.
I think he would have a longer run if they keep him with Best Friends. I like him as the leader of the group, his friend group. He's kind of like the cool friend, right? He's not the dooley in T-Birds. He's Kaneki.
He is Kaneki, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd rather see him in Best Friends. So that's who I'm pulling for. Bucks and don't need it. House of Black. I don't know. They haven't really sold. I don't know what your feelings are on them yet. I want to like them more.
I want to like them more too.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really great at first, and they've also kind of stalled.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Cass just showed up.
Oh, looking really jacked, stoked. Oh, Big Cass is all elite. I hope so. Yeah, because I don't know, would he bring Enzo too? Enzo was his mouthpiece.
Oh, if they brought Enzo to All Out, you're going to see the buy rate spike like you wouldn't believe. Enzo's jacked now. Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah. You see him in his boxing videos
Oh,
too?
my God.
Yeah, he's like legit. Like, I think he got to the point where people were probably might be trolling him, but now he's like, I better be ready to fight if I have to fight. But now I feel like he can probably fight. So yeah, that'll be good.
See, that's what I'm telling you. I love AEW's unpredictability, and they have this flexibility to bring in indie folks and freelancers and whoever is out there and just really surprise us. Triple H is doing a great job over there. I think things are improving, but AEW just has one bit of leverage that WWE will never have, is just that unpredictability.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they definitely have a few surprises. Although I think WWE has a little bit more surprises up their sleeve coming. I don't think Triple H is showing them all now. But, yeah, I feel like AEW can be a lot more nimble with their surprises. So that's what I hope it is. All right, so next match. This one is getting a lot of steam as well. And maybe this is a time to play that interview. I don't know how long it is. It might be a minute long. We have the finals. Well, it's not the finals. It's the interim women's world. It's going to be a fatal four-way dance.
Who
whatever.
do I have here?
Oh, you got it. Hello. All right, yeah, let's pull it up and see. This was on a local show here
I
in
have
Texas.
La Mera Mera, the AEW World Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. That's who I have here. She's also the creator of Mission Pro Wrestling, which
Mission Pro
we're
in the
talking about
house.
in this story. And I just want Thunder Rosa to kind of take it over from here. Talk about the creation of Mission Pro Wrestling and why you coined it.
It was very important for us women to do something different in the last, I don't know, decades, 3, 4. A lot of us have faced sexual harassment, and we have not been able to speak out about it. And 2 years ago, there was a humongous movement.
There's
about
Mission
speaking
Pro
out.
over at the Salvation
And we decided
Army.
that it
Oh,
was time
yeah.
to create something that was for women, and it was run by women, so women could feel safe and feel a place in where they can be represented, not only as females, but also as
What is this
racial,
from?
ethnicity, their age,
I don't know
everything.
what
We want to represent everyone.
I think
in
it
this
was just for
company.
the local San Antonio
They're
to plug the
wrestling better
local
than the
show
men.
there.
You know, what's it like to see those women take advantage of that opportunity and
Was
just
that the
show
show we
that,
sponsored,
hey,
or
we
is that a
belong
recent
here.
one?
We belong here with these men.
I
Just
mean,
like,
it
I guess it
think
looks
that-
a little new.
awesome. I
That's
can
the
tell you
last
as
one.
a
Maddie
manager,
Rinkowski.
Oh, yeah.
Here in San Antonio and other places. It's like the stakes are higher because we always have to show that we are athletes and we should be respected and we should be given the time to show our craft. And I think everyone who has been in that position has gone above and beyond to represent that.
What you
Yeah.
got coming up? I know there's a show coming up on the 17th of September. Talk about that.
Yeah, we have Welcome to the Jungle as September 17, again at the Salvation Army on the south side of San Antonio. It is our anniversary show, it's our 3-year anniversary, and
Really?
I am
3 years?
preparing a really strong statement.
3-year
really
anniversary of
strong,
Mission Pro?
Yeah.
You know, like we say, como decimos en wrestling, a promo about how proud I am for the last 3 years that we've been working as probably one of the very, very few women's shows in the country and probably in the world too.
You hear that? So y'all better be there. Lisette, you better be there because you're a Latina. You're representing for the journalists out there the way Thunder Rosa is representing for the wrestlers. So y'all better be there.
Represent. So,
Local news, always a delight.
yeah, it's always fun.
So yeah, Thunder Rosa getting a lot of heat lately.
She's getting
in
a
the
lot
dirt
of heat.
sheets.
Before we get even to the heat, I got to just give, it just hit me just watching her there. So we know when she first came in, she said less.
Who do I have?
She said less, right? And
Yeah.
she got over because it was kind of like the Ultimate Warrior effect, where he didn't say anything. He just let his actions do the talking. And she had this very,
She had a bit of the Ultimate Warrior vibe.
yeah,
for
very,
sure.
like a very,
But she could wrestle.
she can wrestle, very violent, a good in a pro wrestling way. She just did her stuff. And I think what happened is you gave her the mic, and I don't know if her promo skills were up for what she was doing, where I'd rather see what she just did right here on that local channel where you see the real Thunder Rosa than the fired up Thunder Rosa, because I think that's a critique for all professional wrestlers cutting promos. If you got the stick, not everybody has to be yelling, screaming, making fun of the whole thing of. There used to be something that we were taught that never bury your opponent too much, or else who are you beating?
Yeah.
You got to put your opponent over so it looks like you're beating somebody worth beating, and then you get yourself over. Where I feel like a lot of the interviews now become a little bit more weird and catty, like they're trying to make it feel like it's a shoot, but it is a work. And then I don't necessarily like when they put a lot of the wrestlers on the spot. Like, remember when they were calling her sandbags and she came out and she handed her the sandbags? Because for the audience, for the general audience, are they going to get that? So then at that point, who are you performing for? Are you performing for the people in the back? Or are you performing for the fans that are, read the dirt sheets? Or are you performing for the audience? And
Right.
you don't want to. It's fine that you're going to have a sellout at the monitor, but I feel like when you take those shots that not everybody gets, it doesn't always get over. Now in AEW, it gets over more than it does in WWE because there's a lot more insiders. So like when Punk did that to Adam Page, more people got it, and it kind of resonated through the crowd, where that probably would have been, a fart in a bubble bath in WWE. It would have just happened, and what was that? And then it's over. So I'd rather see Thunder Rosa be real Thunder Rosa. Just go out there like she's talking right now, really calm. That feels like more of a shoot than the screaming.
Yeah.
With the exception of, and we'll get into this later, and Mike will talk about this, the exception of Riddle and Seth, what they're doing right now, which is on a whole different level. But anyway, that was my rant, but I'm going to shoot it back to you, and let's talk about what you heard about her getting heat in the locker room.
Well, I mean, it's all over the internet, right? I mean, there's a lot of stories out there that I don't even really want to like restate or like recirculate here.
Yeah,
you can go Google them if you want to see what's going on, or what people are saying. I don't know. I think that she's very successful really fast. You know what I mean? I think maybe people could be resentful of that. That could rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she's another one that's just like, we talked about this in Hollywood, the whole that it takes you 10 years, 20 years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, she did it in 7.
Yeah. And that's still, and she did it in Lucha Underground, which was great TV, but apparently that was a really, really rough place to work in the sense where you had to get that lawsuits, just to get out of your contract. So I don't know, but, and here's another interesting fact. Remember Vince used to feed into it, like when Brett and Shawn used to be buddies, when it was, wait, you're from the Hart Foundation, I'm from the Rockers, we're going to be buddies. But then when they started getting their singles runs and there was a little bit of professional jealousy, Vince didn't say, hey, guys, cut the shit. It's a work, right? We're going to make money. No, he fed into that because he kind of knows that sometimes does translate into good matches in the ring. If two guys if they have heat with each other, but they respect their work, you can still have great matches. And Shawn Michaels is a perfect example. How many people did he have heat with that he had fantastic matches with? And it looks like Thunder has legit heat with Jamie and Britt.
I mean, that's the rumor.
And that was a really good match.
I believe the Britt thing. They've had some awkward exchanges online.
Yeah. Yeah, they really have.
So, I mean, I buy it. And like I said, I think when you're really driven, and everybody, I mean, more than anyone, right? Like, what are the egos like in the back?
They're rough, man.
I mean, you got to think you're the best to be the best. You have to believe you're the best to be the best. And you're in a room of people who all think they're the best.
Yeah.
How does that go?
Yeah. And back in the day, a lot of the vets, they looked at the title as a pacifier for the babies who had egos. But that's not necessarily the case. But that's how they looked at it, right? And I don't think that I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you can find a way to get over and be over without having the title. But now we're talking about guys that kind of come up with this business for so long, and you dream, the Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream has come true. You kind of want to, that's kind of a status symbol for yourself to show that you had made it. So that's when you get to that stage and you have those egos, they're just like, they're battling, they're fighting for their dreams. So I don't know, but is it possible? Because what's Bryan Danielson's reputation here in AEW versus WWE? Have you heard anything?
I have not.
That's the one I was really curious about, right?
He comes off as a shooter, though.
He does, and he didn't in WWE, did he?
No, I think early, even when he was doing that first program with Eddie Kingston, and he shot on Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston did the whole, he did his whole, mental health promo.
Yeah.
It was like, I think he came off as I think he comes off as a bit of a diva, but not like a diva, but like a, what do you call it?
Well, he's definitely
social conscious diva.
Yeah. He's definitely a wrestling purist, and he's gonna look, and he's gonna respect you more if you're into that. Remember when he had his heel run? I think that is one of the most underrated heel runs in wrestling history, with Daniel Bryan, champion of the planet, not world champion, defending the planet. He had the hemp belt. He was all green, and he's better than you because he's trying to save the planet. I thought that was great. And maybe there's a part of him that really is like that he will kind of look down on you. He's like, oh, you're a sports entertainer. You're not a wrestler. But look at all the magic that him and Miz made, sports entertainer versus pro wrestler. So I don't know if that's, but I was curious because I feel like he should be a locker room leader. They could have put the intern belt on him, and I'd be curious why that decision was made not to put it on him.
JJ said he's got a reputation for being a bully.
Really?
Yeah.
In the ring?
In the ring, in the back, I'm not sure.
Really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely the most experienced guy there, right?
Yeah.
He definitely, you could tell he takes the business seriously. He takes wrestling seriously.
Yeah, he don't know. It's and there's no sports.
He came to AEW so he could wrestle, right? He had done the sports entertainer thing for 10 years at that point or longer.
Yeah.
He wanted to wrestle and get hurt and get and bleed. He wanted to bleed again.
He did. He's just like, I mean, think of the risks he takes on his neck. He still does those top rope missile drop kicks where you land flat on your back instead of your side. And everybody who's done the top rope missile drop kick and the diving headbutt have all had damage eventually done to their neck. So when he does that, I still wince. Yeah, JJ said in the back, but he's addressed in an interview, and it sounds like he takes things very seriously, so it comes off that way. So, and I think he does. So I was curious why he didn't get that run of the belt, because remember he had the baby face pop when he showed up in AEW, but he didn't do the yes chant, so it's just like it kind of simmered. But then he started telling it like it is with the fans, and they started booing them. It's like, I don't care, boo me. I'm gonna just tell it like it is. So maybe he does have that vibe. But I don't know how I got on that tangent. Oh, we were talking about
we're talking about wrestling, bro.
But we're talking about real versus worked. I'd like to see how. Just tell them what you really want to do. Michael Hayes told me that in a promo once. Just like, hey, he said, hey Rico, you don't have to scream. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, no, just tell him what you're gonna do. Tell him what you're feeling. He's and that's why I think he's one of the best underrated producers in the business, because he listens to everything. You're a director, the little things matter as much as the big things.
Yeah.
And he just took the time, you don't have to yell. Just tell him what you're gonna do.
What were you yelling about, bro?
I was yelling at Chaz about what I was gonna do with him, and I called him a spaz. But yeah, that was in the Sportatorium when I had a couple of times with the mic. But again, it's just important to I learned at that point, you got to be a little bit a more authentic, organic version of yourself, and just amp it up a little bit when you're in the ring. But don't scream just to scream, to just say, we're in a fight. I don't like you, so I'm going to scream. Oh, I'm going to scream back. It shows through, and I feel like it happened on, and you can tell probably in the Mission Pro show is a perfect example, right? A lot of those girls are just getting started, and they're going to be and a lot of them are going to have great careers. Congratulations to Kylan King. She's getting a nice run in AEW now. Yeah. But when they grab that stick, doesn't it always feel just a pinch awkward?
Well, would you say that is a skill, when you're getting into the business, the profession, would you say that the physical portion of it is what you learn first and that the promo stuff comes later? Because 100%. I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching WWE, and I saw Bayley was back to watch and see what Bayley's doing. Bayley is so great on the mic now.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she first came out and, she had her good girl gimmick and she was super over with her gimmick, but she didn't really do a lot on the mic.
No.
And then when she was on the mic, it was awkward.
Yeah, that's 100%. No, you're absolutely
even
right.
Though I feel like she was the hottest gimmick in NXT for a while.
She was.
When that music would come on, it would go nuts. It was at that one show we went to.
Oh yeah.
she was so over. But like she'd get on the mic and it just felt strange. It was awkward. But now she's amazing on the mic.
Yeah, and it took a lot, and she's hurt, so she's still hurt.
Yeah,
she's not ready to wrestle yet. So, but they're utilizing her and forcing. But you're absolutely right. You get into wrestling because you want to be a wrestler, but you realize if you want to stay in wrestling, you have to grab a microphone and basically convince people to come watch you perform. It doesn't matter if you're the best wrestler in the world. We've seen it time and time again. More people are on their feet if Eddie Kingston puts somebody in a headlock and he starts talking shit, people will be on their feet versus somebody who's doing spot. Other than AEW, it really doesn't register because it's happening so fast. It's like, what's the frame rate on those movies? Like, remember in The Hobbit when they upped the
48?
frame rate? Yeah, when they upped the frame rate, you're like, what did my brain just witness? I feel like that happens a lot. And I'm not saying there's not a spot for it. I think there's a spot for all of it. But if you want to be the guy that they're going to be talking about 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, you got to work the stick more than you got to work your bumps. You know, Mick Foley even was a perfect example of that. He got so over with his sick bumps and he had like a cult following, but he didn't become that world champion material until he did those backstage vignettes with Jim Ross. And then Vince McMahon said, "That's good shit, pal." And then he started like talking organically and for real. But he was already doing that in ECW. If you watched it, like he was the guy, he cut the best promo, you know, because talking about Mikey Whipwreck and talking about like, man, it sucked driving you on the Jersey Turnpike and I got to go here in both Long Island. And you were so inconsiderate because you would just pull over into the rest stop. Instead of getting a healthy sandwich at Roy Rogers, you'd get a bag of Doritos. Why the Doritos, Mikey? You know I have an eating disorder. And you're like, what the hell did I just watch?
What was that?
Yeah, that was an ECW. That was some of his early promos. That was after he left WCW, but before he went to WWE. So that was the same. He basically did the same thing that Steve Austin did. That the characters that we knew to grow and love in WWE started in ECW, like versions of that. And I think I've insulted him by accident about that once, and I didn't mean it to come off that way. Mm-hmm. But you know, he was in the locker room, and this was probably 94, 90. So he just came over, and I think he was just debuting as Mankind. And I just went up to him and I just told him, I was like, you know, I got MSG at my house in Long Island, and your promos, you know, I didn't call them promos, like those interviews you do are some of the best interviews I've ever heard in wrestling. And he looked at me and he's like, you know, one time I went up to Ted DiBiase, who was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and said, I loved watching you as $1 Million Man kicking kids out of the pool in the vignettes. And he started laughing. And then I'm like, and then I started laughing. I was like, wait, was that his way of saying, I can't believe you're telling me that you preferred my interviews over wrestling, which that's not what I was saying, but I don't know. Did it feel like maybe that's what he was saying? Because that was his response. And I was like, okay. And I'll never forget, his pants were falling down, but he had a Mary Higgins Clark book in the back of his pocket, in his back pocket. Like Fonzie had a comb, Mick Foley had a Mary Higgins Clark book in his back pocket. I don't remember. I just remember the author because I recognized the font. I was like, Mary Higgins Clark. I was like, when I remember going home, I was like, I can't believe that Cactus Jackson was reading Mary Higgins Clark. Oh man, sorry. I know we went totally off of that. So match number 3 at AEW All Out this weekend, yes, is going to be a World Tag Team Championship match between Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. And here it is. I know a lot of people are already realizing this. You need to put the belt on the Acclaimed immediately. Don't wait.
The tag team belt.
The tag team belts for Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
They just got it though.
They just got it, but are they getting over?
No, and yes, it would be great for the Acclaim to have those belts.
Acclaim is so over, man. Scissor me, daddy ass, and you see the shirts that are coming out there, and as soon as you hear that, and now they got Billy Gunn with them, I was like, and all his raps are on point. They're so good. They need to
topical.
Yeah.
poignant.
Do it. Give them the belt.
Memorable.
Give them the belt right now. Don't wait.
Damn, that's great. See, it's tough booking, you know? I hate for the belts to really just hop around, but
No.
you're probably right.
No, I think they need Acclaim needs that belt. That's the greatest saying in pro wrestling. That is great. And I thought, it's so
Scissor
hard.
me, daddy ass.
It's so hard. I remember being at home trying to figure out, like, wow, we're running out of finger symbols to do for pro wrestling that you can get the fans to do. Like, okay, you got this one. People have already done this one. You have this one. You have this one. You have the click. And then all of a sudden, they're like, they got scissoring going. And I'm like, and they made that a thing. And that's interactive. Can't you see people in elementary school?
What's the scissoring symbol?
But now they stick their fingers out to each other. And I was like, oh, man. They're just doing, they have a look. They have a gimmick. And they're great on the mic. And they each play a part. Right? Road Dogg did his ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. And all Billy Gunn had to say was, suck it. And they have, you have the rapper, what's his name? Max Caster.
Max Caster.
Yeah. And then
Caster.
his partner comes out and then he does the pop for the town, like whatever town they're in. And he calls him out. Oh, and then he's the one that does so they each have like a good gimmick. He does the scissor part. Yeah, I'm sorry, Swerve. I don't even know what Swerve in Our Glory is even supposed to be. I got to be quite honest. I don't even know what that means.
It's the byproduct of the too much talent.
Yeah,
too many folks on the roster right now. Not enough spots.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you said, sometimes there's just not enough spots. That's like something Forrest Gump would say.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not obviously those guys are super talented, but are you like if Swerve what is it? Swerve in Our Glory comes on TV, are you like, oh, are you going up and putting it louder?
No.
When I hear,
honestly, that name doesn't even make that much sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, it just kind of doesn't.
No, it doesn't work
it's
for me
not,
either.
It's an action line. It's
Yeah.
a call to action. It's not the name of a group.
Of a team, yeah. No, I agree, man.
Swerve in Our Glory and go to, whatever.com and roll in a free trial.
That is a .com name. But I can tell you, as soon as I hear, wah, wah, I run up to the TV and I put it louder so I can hear, yo, listen. It's so good. Everything about them. They're the hottest tag team in AEW right now. If you're talking about somebody who's going to grab your eyeballs. Obviously, FTR is like the best in the world as far as like the respected wrestlers that have nothing but gold, and they should be the pinnacle. I do agree with that. But I'm talking about just somebody who's going to put butts in seats and that you're going to take the time to make a sign. Are you going to make a sign for Swerve in Our Glory, or are you going to make a sign that says "Scissor me, daddy ass"? You're going to make
Scissor me, daddy ass. Which shirt do you want?
Yeah.
You want a shirt that says Swerve in Our Glory? No one's going to kick you out of school for that.
Yeah. Scissor me,
daddy ass will get you suspended.
So I have my fingers crossed, and I'm in a tweet string with Tony Khan right now. He hasn't bit yet, and we're trying to guess on who that person is going to be. And I put a GIF of Enzo, MJF, and Eddie Kingston because I want it to be Eddie, but I want to put in just like give the Acclaim the belt. I don't care if you think they need a little bit. No, just give them the belt. They'll work. They'll figure it out. They're already a hot gimmick. They're the heels that were so cool as heels they became baby faces.
And this is something that Tony Khan has to lean into.
Yeah.
I think another critique of AEW, we're fans, we can critique it.
Yeah.
Give folks the strap when folks want them to have the strap. Like when it's right, do it. Don't wait. I feel like sometimes he waits too long and, that person's moment has kind of passed. I felt like that's what happened with Hangman, although he left to go have a baby or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think when he finally got the title, it was a little past his time. He got it right. CM Punk had already come in. Daniel Bryan came in. Just, yeah.
Yeah, it was timing.
Same thing with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. they should have had the tag team straps
Earlier.
first, like right after the Bucks, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
They
No,
were so over right at the beginning.
What about even Darby with the TNT title? For some reason, why did it feel like that was kind of just a blip?
Well, the TNT title never really got over, I think.
Yeah.
I think Cody had it. Cody has been the only legit person to have it. And the thing is, like by the time Miro got it, you would think would get the title over, it wasn't enough. The title seemed beneath him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and they're finally, he's coming back, and they're starting to kind of give him a little bit of push. But yeah, even him, who was super over with, Rusev Day,
yeah,
right? That got him over. He hasn't reached those levels yet. And has anybody been able to, besides CM Punk, keep the steam that they had coming in? I could even argue that even Daniel didn't. Like Brian did something. He became something different. Punk transferred into being the top guy and stayed the top guy.
Don't know.
Oh, CM Punk accepted the open challenge after a passionate promo. So, okay. Yeah, so we're going to have a fun pre-show for All Out. I think it's going to be a good show. But you are 100% right. If you think about it, he can even be argued with Thunder Rosa. I do, and he's in a tough spot. Because if you want these belts to mean something, you get the belts to mean something by letting people hold it longer.
Right.
But when the Honky Tonk Man had the title for over a year, the IC title, there wasn't as many people ready to take that belt. And the problem is now there's tons of people that are ready to carry these belts and not. So you can't do. I do understand you can't have it jumping back and forth quickly, but you also can't wait as long as you'd like. I mean, although I would say it worked well for Britt Baker because she made that belt mean something, but then it hurt Thunder Rosa and she took longer to give her the belt, and now it felt like after that huge pop of winning the belt, she didn't have. It's very hard to follow up your winning the title of defending the title with something that's just as hot as your journey to get the title, and Thunder never got something hot. Because it probably honestly should. What happened to the rematch clause? What happened to the rematch clause? Why do these people never get rematches? Like Jericho even called it out. He's like, for Moxley, he's like, how come I never got my rematch? It used to mean something like when you beat the champ, now you got the belt. Now you got to defend against the person that was just the champ. That means something. And they're taking that away because they're like, okay, you lost the belt, back of the line. What happened? Why didn't Adam Page? Like, where was his rematch? Like, Punk said, okay, I'll give you your rematch right now. And you see how that got people fired up? I mean, you got to have, just when you beat the champ, you can say, okay, lucky punch, any given Sunday, I want my rematch. And then you got to beat them again to show that you really are, that you've elevated. And they haven't done that yet at all. You haven't seen that, right? Moxley got the interim belt. That was the only two-time champ, right?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done that at all. And now they're at the point where they almost don't have time to do that. They're trying to squeeze so many folks into the show.
Man. But anyway, yeah. Don't wait. Give the belts to the Acclaimed. Next match is going to be Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. This was definitely a nice calling card for, passionate wrestling fans that know who Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns is. The only gripe I have in here is Wardlow is the TNT title holder. Who's he defending the belt against? He's not defending the belt. It's the biggest show of the year, and he's in a 6-man. Why?
That's strange.
Why isn't he defending the belt?
He doesn't even have a feud going, does he?
Well, yeah, the only thing he had was... No, yeah, you're right, because the MJF stuff, again, that he just disappeared after that, and it was over.
Yeah.
Why isn't Swerve in Our Glory and Keith Lee going just like, okay, let's do big man versus big man. Let's see if you can really defend that belt. Why isn't a heel Keith Lee fighting Wardlow?
Yeah.
On the biggest show of the year. Again, just our opinion.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's an odd choice.
Then you got the casino ladder match that's coming up. So Claudio's going to be in this, which I thought was interesting.
Is he kind of lost in the shuffle as well?
He's another one that is just
it sucks, man. They're so bloated right now with
so
talent.
much. Like, who would have thought that having too much talent?
Well,
would be a
like I said,
problem?
when they came out, they had like 6 guys, and they were getting a 2-hour show out of that. And you felt it. You were like, oh, I can't wait till they get some more folks. But now it's just way too many.
Mm-hmm.
It's too many, and they don't have enough TV time.
Yeah, that's very difficult to pull off. And I think there's ways. We got some ideas. Maybe we'll talk about it on Sunday. We got some ideas on how we can fix that. It's doable. You got talent. We can fix this. My old man is a television repairman. He's got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
You can't fix this, Cosmicoli.
I can fix it. Next match, to me, and I don't know what that says, this is one of the matches I'm most excited for, is Jericho versus Bryan. And I think as much heat as Jericho gets for whatever, saying that he's overstaying as well, whatever, I don't agree with it. I think he's still reinventing himself so many times, and now you're going to get Lionheart Chris Jericho versus American Dragon Bryan Danielson. And if you know anything about wrestling, right, even though it might not be accurate, but he is trained. He was under the Stu Hart dungeon tree. You know, he might. I read a really awesome article on 411 on who was the actual last survivor of the Hart dungeon, and it wasn't Jericho. But that being said, he was part of Stu's training regimen, even if it was just
one
the
of the
Hart
last
brothers.
survivors of the Hart dungeon.
Yeah, he bills himself as the last survivor of the Hart dungeon. So, but did you watch that promo between Jericho and Bryan?
I didn't see it. See, I'm behind.
Oh,
I'm behind. I
man,
got to
dude.
catch up, and I even signed up for Sling just to watch.
It was great because he did the same thing that Mox did. He's like, I don't want this sport. I don't want the Wizard. I don't want Le Champion. I want the Lionheart. I want to see you, the guy that was in there grinding. He didn't say ECW, the one that was grinding in Japan and grinding in Mexico. That's the guy I want. But Bryan took a step further. He's just like, what would your hero, Owen Hart, think of what you're doing with sports entertaining?
Damn.
Yeah. Dude.
No, I didn't see it. See, and like I said, I try to catch up at the end of the week on Dynamite, and I missed parts of it, but the show is still really good.
Oh man, that's why. And again, what we were talking about, you got to grab a mic and get me to see. And those two grabbed a mic, and now I'm gonna get the show, but I'm looking forward to that match the most.
Not a lot of build on that, but I mean, it's still.
It didn't
great.
need that last promo was almost all they needed. Now,
Well, I mean, AEW is good at doing the 2-week builds. That's some of their best builds have been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Let's see. They are super fast, those builds, but like when it feels legit like that, I'm sold. Speaking of doing great stuff on the mic, what about Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy? Christian Cage has been really pushing Jungle Boy's button, and you feel like he's wanting to elevate him by really, really cutting a little bit close to the bone, right? Talking about his dad and, his dead dad and that kind of stuff. Luke Perry, R.I.P.
Can we still get that Christian Cage is a pussy shirt?
I don't know.
Did that go up on the site?
I don't know if it went up on the site or if I think he got in trouble for dropping that word, and then they asked him not to say it.
Did you hear Warner Discovery, who's doing all kinds of great things? They told AEW to tone it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
they told
man.
them to tone the language down.
Corporations, great for America. Sarcasm. Sorry. Don't even get me started on that. But I think Christian Cage this is great. You can tell what he's doing. Now Jungle Boy is at the learning tree of one of the best on the mics, because Christian Cage went from a third vampire in the Brood to being one of the best on the mic. And then Christian, when he turned heel and he had his peeps, man, he was so fired up. I feel like we're getting that version of him. He somehow has made turtlenecks heel again, and that is what I'm here for.
I feel like he stepped a little bit into the MJF space when MJF left. He kind of just slid into that spot a little bit.
Yeah, so I love me a heel turtleneck. So I think it'll be that match. Yeah, JJ says it feels like there's a holding pattern for future ROH people. Yeah, I don't know. I think they...
Pull the trigger. Make it happen. What's going? Well, it's probably... What's his name? What's the Warner Discovery guy?
Oh, Zavloff?
Zavloff. So maybe we should tag Zavloff.
Yeah, he needs to fix
Tell him to get it together and give Ring of Honor a spot.
Yeah.
Dang, what would be a good day for Ring of Honor?
You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit old school. Give me a Saturday morning wrestling show again.
I was thinking Saturday night, but yeah.
So I'll take the 505. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but NWA Power is doing that on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But what about the old 9 a.m. Try to get kids watching wrestling again? I watched wrestling in the mornings on Saturdays before I watched it at night.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Saturday morning return.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Just to get Ring of Honor in there. And I know they're thinking more about ad revenue, but back then they were just like, promoters were like, we got TV. What time are you on? It's like Fridays at 3 a.m. It's like, shit, yeah, we're on TV. But now it's just like it doesn't have the same vibe. But I do think they need to take one of their branded shows and just brand it ROH and be done with it.
Yeah.
Just be done with it. I don't care if it's like, okay, Dark is your feeder show. What is Dark Elevation? What is that?
I never got exact one. Well, one of them is a studio show. One of them is a studio show at Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Florida.
Oh man.
And then the other one is the pre-show at the Dynamite shows.
Man.
I want to say Dark is the one that's at the studio.
And it's tough because, look, I'm even for a show. I'm all for a studio show. If you can find a way to make revenue and not worry about fans in the audience and you just have that old school... Like, have you watched any of the NWA Power shows?
I was watching them at first.
Yeah, they're good.
I haven't followed up on them, but yeah.
That was just... It always made it feel like you were watching the TV show, and then when you were watching the Ronnie Garvin versus Ric Flair in the studio we knew with only 20 people screaming was setting up for a big match at the Omni, and it made it feel bigger because like, oh yeah, I remember when this happened. It's kind of like a couple of people crowding around a locker, and then like after school, and then the parking lot, you got a parking lot sellout for that match. It just made it feel special. So do a Saturday morning Memphis style studio show. Maybe studio shows don't work anymore. I don't know. I don't know what kind of numbers NWA is pulling, but have gotten Billy Corgan is their biggest star and he's the owner.
It's true.
Right?
I mean,
they got solid talent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of wrestling talent out there.
Yeah.
It's just an abundance of talent. So yeah, we need more shows for them to be on. But I don't know if a studio show. Well, I don't know. Lucha Underground, I thought really worked.
Lucha Underground.
They had sort of a unique studio look.
That felt like a studio, even though it was a bigger audience, but it felt special. You have to have that vibe, right?
It had those stairs. It had those big stairs.
Yeah. The office, like the mysterious,
the back
Dario's
office. Yeah. I thought, they did a lot. I don't know if like a straight up 3-camera studio show flies, but the thing is, with technology now, you can do it anywhere. So you could innovate on that somehow.
Yeah.
You could do it outdoors somewhere. You could do it at different locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's potential.
I'm down. But you're right. I think could just be something that you can innovate on the past. I'm not saying you can reinvent it. Obviously, kayfabe is dead. Thank you, internet. But you're not going to be able to just keep doing the same thing, because now what everybody's used to is feeling old. Like I was hoping Triple H was already just do different camera angles, different colors, like something, just feel a little bit different. But anyway, again, another tangent. Ring of Honor, get your own show. Sign of the night. Just enjoy wrestling. That's a great sign.
That's a great sign. Let's do that as a shirt. Tony
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah, make a
we
shirt.
came up with it.
Yeah. Oh no, I think JJ said it was out there in the audience, but
Yeah, but we came up with the idea to put it on a
yeah,
shirt.
that we're the shirt guys. Hey, you're the shirt guys. All right, and then the last match that's setting up for AEW All Out is Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Did you expect Ricky Starks to get over as much as he? Did you watch his promo yet?
I have not.
Oh man, you got to watch his promo, man. He cut a passionate promo, and it's the most interested I've ever been in Ricky Starks outside of saying Ricky Starks. It was great. And now it's going to give Powerhouse Hobbs a little bit of the rub because, he got the heel turn. Team Taz is dead. But I don't know, man. It felt passionate. You felt the passion. He felt a little bit like Cody must have texted him that night. It's like, maybe try this. Because, Cody's interviews that have so much passion and you just buy into it. And it doesn't matter if it's a work or if it's real or if it's fake or if he's shooting or if he's just, just going for it, man. And Ricky Starks isn't. So there's your homework. Watch the Ricky Starks promo and then watch the Bryan versus Chris Jericho promo.
Can I hijack the podcast for just
go
1
ahead,
second?
man.
I want to do a quick why aren't you watching?
Yeah, do it.
There's a documentary on YouTube. I think it's pretty short. It's like 30 minutes. A local director here made it. I think we've seen his stuff come through. His name's like Ray Zombie or something. And he did a little documentary called Wrestling with Independence. And it's not bad, but the thing is, it's a lot of these guys. You remember wrestling was really big in Austin for a couple years.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So he got a lot of interviews with these guys, and it's got Keith Lee, it's got Ricky Starks, it's got, I can't think of all the names, but like you'll recognize everybody. And you see a young Thunder Rosa just in the background of some shots.
Really?
She didn't even get an interview at that point.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, Keith Lee, Ricky Starks, Scorpio Sky, a lot of those folks while they were doing their spots here in Austin. Oh, a young, what's his name? Murder Hawk Monster.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he came out. He was like Big D in Dallas. He was there for a while.
He looks way different in that. You won't even recognize him. But I mean, check it out.
Yeah, I will definitely check it out. All right, do you want to? Should we take a break? I think.
Yeah, we can do a break.
Yeah, we want to do a quick break, and then we'll come back with a beer, and then take us home with the castle.
Got it.
All right, let's do it. BRB.
Boy, I'm bored.
Don't be bored. Join the party. Call 1-976-8888. There's a great time waiting for you right now. Meet new friends or just listen in. Everybody's doing it. So call 1-976-8888.
Where was that party?
So, what are you waiting for? Don't be left out on all the fun. Call right now, 1-976-8888. 88 cents per minute billed to your phone. Brought to you by Omegaphone.
Just like you, I was really skeptical about which one of the party lines is really the best. It's 1-976-BEST. It's easier than going to some singles bar. The phone's right there within your reach. And it's a real kick because you get started talking with everyone on the line right away. I got together with this guy I met on the best party line, and I'll tell you, it's fun, exciting, and the best way for you to meet someone new. The best party line. It's just a phone call away.
Do you sometimes sit alone, wishing for the perfect fantasy? Has love passed you by? Do you dream of encounters with a perfect mate? Or spending precious moments getting close to someone you could really love? For just 99 cents per minute, indulge your fantasy. It's live.
Call 1-976-DATE now.
Oh, sorry. Shouldn't be.
You were dialing the 976 number, I see.
I was just trying to call because it just said, "Wait, does she?"
I mean, yeah, find your mate.
Is she talking to me?
Did you ever call one of those 976 numbers? Do you remember those back in the day?
Yeah, I actually got in a lot of trouble from my dad when I did it, and
did it?
and not for the reason that you think.
Yeah.
I called the 976 number that was voting for #1 music video of the year, and I just called 50 times for Ray Parker Jr. singing Ghostbusters.
How much was it each call?
I called like it was enough that he was pissed. So yeah, but I never called one of the like roto dials, or basically what was chat roulette via phone back then.
Yeah.
Did not call that. I never called any. I did call a couple of wrestling hotlines to get some "see you at the matches" stuff from Bill Apter. Apter was just on our Twitter too. He got our Pro Wrestling Illustrated fame for the top.
Who was
5.
that?
Bill Apter, the magazine editor-in-chief for Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, and Inside Wrestling. Before the internet, they had magazines, and that was the only way you found out about what was going on in other territories in wrestling. And Bill Apter was the go-to photographer. And besides WWF magazine, Pro Wrestling Illustrated was the magazine that you wanted. And he had some like worked shoot stuff that was in there, but it was definitely, he still was playing within the boundaries of pro wrestling. And he's also a Long Island guy. We have Bill Apter to thank for getting Andy Kaufman into pro wrestling.
Really?
Yeah. There was 2 Long Island guys, and he was the one that helped. He's like, Andy Kaufman was asking around. He's like, I have this idea I want to do from pro wrestling. And Bill Apter first got him in touch with Vince McMahon Sr., who said, no, I think that's too silly to get into pro wrestling with a comedian. And Jerry Lawler's like, I'll do it. And it's 2022 and we're still talking about it. So well done. But it would have changed the landscape. That's a what if Vince Sr. did take Andy Kaufman, it would have maybe changed everything. Maybe he wouldn't have sold to Vince Jr. We don't know. So, but let's jump that. Speaking of Vince, or lack thereof of Vince, we also have our first premium live event. I'm trying to get used to saying that. Even though AEW is a pay-per-view, this is a premium live event. Even though I pay to see Peacock content every month, we are getting Clash at the Castle, which I believe is happening in Wales. Let's see.
I mean, they have castles there.
These people we're talking about work-life boundaries, and people messaging me at 8:30. And then I closed the tab I had open for the matches. Let's see the card.
Now you're just showing off.
Oops.
Yes, after 30 years, WWE is finally bringing a major stadium event back to the United Kingdom. Clash of the Castle goes down September 3rd from Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, Wales. Home of Catherine Zeta-Jones. The main event, undisputed champ Roman Reigns puts his title on the line against Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns has had the title for more than 700 days.
2 years.
That's crazy and awesome. I think he is the head of the table, no doubt. This is now, you don't have to force Roman Reigns down anyone's throat. He just put himself in your throat.
Yeah. You accepted it.
So, but I'm torn here because obviously home country with Drew McIntyre is going to be in Europe. Do you see a big stadium show? Does Roman drop the belt here to Drew McIntyre?
Well, this isn't a legit pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a premium live event.
I mean, I really don't know. I don't know where WWE is in their booking right now. It feels like it's kind of in flux, so it's a little bit hard to predict.
Well, to think of it this way, the other most famous stadium show that took place in Europe was Bret Hart losing the title to Davey Boy Smith, the Intercontinental title, that even got bumped up to the main event over Macho Man versus... Was it Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior? Either way, and that overshadowed that. And Davey Boy Smith went over, and it was a monster pop. So I am curious if they're going to do this to give Drew the rub. If you want my vote, I say don't do it. I like Drew. I think they can do something, but again, it's still fresh in my mind, everything that Cody's done. And when Cody wins that belt, it's going to mean so much. But if Cody wins that belt over Roman after that long, you just catapulted him into the... He's already up there, right? He's still there. He's the hottest act that they've had in years. So I kind of want to save that for... I don't think Drew will get that big of a pop as when Cody will. I don't know. Am I wrong?
Well, are they going to wait for I mean, Cody's out for a while, isn't he?
Well, he could be back in time for Royal Rumble. So he's still got a couple of months. And then I guess you put it on a Mania, although I'd like to see him win it. I would have liked to have seen him win it at a house show. But and JJ brought up a good point. Drew didn't get his WrestleMania moment, because he did it during the Pandy with no audience. And when he beat Brock, it was the equivalent of a studio show with no one in the studio. So are they going to give him that moment and he's going to get it? Does it take...
Remember the television screens in the audience?
Yeah, Thunderdome. How can you ever forget the Thunderdome era?
We're going to look back at that and be weirded out.
Here's a question I have for you. If Drew McIntyre goes over on Roman Reigns and he ends the 700-day reign and then comes back and then Roman wins it right back, does that take away from Drew's win, and does that take away if Cody's going to win over Roman Reigns?
I mean, probably does. I think that if he loses it and gets it back, it still sort of breaks, it breaks the streak. It breaks the run.
Yeah.
It gives it an asterisk,
Yep.
So I would say, yeah.
Again, yeah, I agree. I'd like to have a swerve. I'd like to have a swerve. This is the one time that I would be okay with being swerved. I'd like to see something happen where he gets that pop, but somehow he still doesn't win the title. But again, and I don't want to sound like I'm anti-Drew. I'm not, but unfortunately, he lost a lot of steam. And I don't know what they need to do with him. I kind of liked what he was doing with Sheamus, but I kind of wanted them to be like Sheamus has his clique now, but I wanted to be that Sheamus and Drew, because those guys legit go back all the way back, and I feel like those two together could have the type of clique that would elevate both of them, because they're both obviously fantastic athletes. They have the look, they have the gimmick, they have everything, but there just feels like there's something that they just need the spark. And I felt like Sheamus and Drew together, because that war that those two had, like, did you see the match that Drew and Sheamus, I'm giving you more homework. Why can't I talk? Drew versus Sheamus, they had a fight for, and whoever won the match was going to fight Roman at the stadium show. And it was so stiff, man. They had welts, you saw blood. I mean, they were beating the crap out of each other.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's worth going back to see, but I'd like to see them hold it for Cody. That's my vote.
I can get down with that. I think it makes sense. You think Triple H, though, would play along?
I think Triple H always does what's best for business. I don't think there was ever a gimmick on there. He always will do what's best for business. So and right now he's firing on all cylinders. I trust what he's doing because he's doing some great stuff. All right, next match we have the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. I think Liv Morgan's going to get a way bigger pop than people realized over there.
Yeah?
Yeah. They waited a little bit too long to give her moment, but they still gave it to her, and she's capitalizing on it for sure. Like, she's still growing. I think it's just going to be MMA star Baszler is going to go. I think she's going to put her over clean. I think Shayna Baszler was basically female Brock Lesnar in NXT, and she lost her steam. So I'd like to see her lose to Liv and then start to get that female Brock Lesnar thing back. She was the one. She was just choking people out left and right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that come back. You have any pick on that?
I mean, I haven't been following WWE as closely, so yeah. But I think Liv Morgan's going to hang on to it.
Yeah.
I think that she's on an upswing. You're probably right. She probably will sort of as more folks start to get wind of her, I think she's going to get more popular.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. All right, next match we have six-woman Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. So that, the two NXT call-ups that Triple H hired back, teamed up with Bayley. That's the new clique. Bayley's the leader there. We're going to see Bayley in the ring. I think this match is going to be really fun to see. I think the live audience is going to have a lot of fun with this match because all the elements in there, these are all Bianca, Asuka, Alexa, and Bayley already know how to connect to the audience, and Io Sky and Dakota Kai are starting to get that, and they're going to get the rub from these. I think this is going to be a really fun match.
How long has it been since Bayley had a match?
Over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Wow.
So you're going to get her back in the ring too. So that's a little bit of the pitch there too. Oh man. And more breaking news, hot off the presses. Adam Page is the third man for the Dark Order in the trios match against the Best Friends. Because you forget about they didn't really do much with the Dark Order, and maybe the Dark Order was hot, as far as like who is the leader, and then they became like, I don't want to call it a comedy gimmick, but they definitely, when they had the Dark Order night and everybody went over, they were just so over as baby faces. Are they even in the running for this trio belt? I know.
I don't see why not. People like John Silver.
Yeah. Oh man, Johnny Hungy. I tagged him in. We get followed by Slim Jim, and tell me he's not the perfect spokesperson for Slim Jim. They are missing out by not getting Johnny Hungy on that meat stick. So, and again, so you haven't been keeping up. So right now there's a thing going on with Seth Rollins and Riddle that was kind of feeling like a shoot.
What's going on with them?
They're just... So remember in SummerSlam, right before SummerSlam, Seth Rollins hurt Riddle, but then Riddle showed up at SummerSlam. Now they've been doing this thing, setting up for this match where they said, we have this footage that we caught, and it was a parking lot fight between Seth Rollins and Riddle with a crowd just watching like two guys fighting in a parking lot. Then they did another gimmick with these guys where they just did their sell the match. I'm going to get you. This is what we're going to happen. And then you heard the director say, okay, cut. Okay, we got that. Guys, you're gone. We're clear. And then Seth is like, hey, Riddle, you still there? He's like, yeah. He's like, you want to talk about my family? Let's talk about your family. And he started like talking about you can't get his kids because of his ex-wife. And then Riddle's like, what the? And he started like, they started beeping him out and cursing him. He's like, where are you? Where the F are you? And like started like it was a shoot. And then he just started, and then like laughing and then like walked away. So they're doing this quasi shoot thing. And then they started off the show where Riddle and Seth were just fighting. Like they're making it like a really intense battle. And Seth's one of the best in the business. Riddle is that shooter, right? He came from UFC, so he always has that vibe. So for me, this is the match of the night for me. Rollins versus Riddle.
Yeah.
Especially now that they set it up for a shot. To make it feel like a shoot.
Yeah. No, that sounds dope.
What match should be good that I don't think it's going to be? They're putting the Intercontinental belt up. Gunther versus Sheamus. So Gunther is the, what was his name? He was
Walter.
Walter. Oh,
Will he go back to Walter now?
Yeah, he should. I mean, I really think he should. I don't know why they gave him a hit. But I think Sheamus is going to get a big pop. But how big of a pop is Gunther going to get? Because he's from, he's not a U.S. too. So we'll see. But I don't know. I feel like that could be... I wanted Nakamura to get that title back. I feel like Triple H is starting to build Nakamura back up to those NXT levels when the whole crowd was singing along. So I wanted to see that. So we'll see. But I didn't even know that match was happening until I scrolled and just saw it. So and then what else do we had? So we got Miz and they're predicting that we can also possibly get the Miz versus AJ Styles, which is going to be interesting because they brought back. They're bringing back some NXT guys, and Miz got kidnapped. So they brought Ciampa in, And Ciampa's doing great. Like, he didn't win the belt, but he was going for the U.S. belt, but he put up a great match. And for a second, you thought he was going to win there. Now you got Johnny Gargano there. What do you think is going to... But they put Ciampa with The Miz. Do you think that's going to last, or you think eventually he's going to turn on him?
Well, nobody remains in a agreement with The Miz, do they?
Yeah. I don't think so. But it's working for me because it's like you got the ultimate sports entertainer versus, because Miz, first ballot Hall of Famer, man. He's done it all, and the only time he got hurt was a sloppy move from Damien.
The zombie, actually.
Yeah,
right?
The zombie too. So, and then you got wow, what's the name of the? Oh, Theory's not even fighting. So they haven't announced who Theory's fighting. They haven't announced who Bobby Lashley's fighting. The rumor is going to be Finn Balor versus Edge, and I have a feeling that Finn Balor's going to get a huge pop over there. So Edge may turn the heel that night, just for that night, one night only. And then, I don't know. I don't know who Theory is working. I don't know if any other big surprises are coming, but what do you think? Like, not watching that, does that sound like an interesting show to you, or is it?
I mean, the show sounds interesting. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, Podcat.
Did she fell off?
Yeah, she landed on her feet. Good job living up to the gimmick.
Yes, I definitely want to see Bayley's return. I want to see Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler and the Roman match. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It sounds good. I can get into it.
Yeah.
I don't have a better review yet, but I mean, it all sounds really good.
Well, let's say it so do a little bit of homework, and then we're gonna do a remote show on Sunday. We're trying to get BZ on the line. Then we're gonna get our friend Nick from Denmark. So we're gonna be coming hot off Clash of the Castle. So by the time we do the show, we'll have seen Clash of the Castle. So what would be interesting, instead of going back and watching, just watch Clash of the Castle cold. And see who pulls you in.
I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably just going to watch it cold.
Right. And see what actually...
I'll get plenty of the replay. So,
oh my
it'll
God,
catch me up to speed.
Yeah, that is absolutely true, which is the new thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that was a thing now? Where instead of watching shows, you just skip it and you watch the YouTube, YouTube wrap up or...
It's just sped up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just watch them just catch it up, like you go to like one of the spoiler boys and you just watch it. And apparently that's what happened with Miss Marvel. A lot of people just went and watched that, like got to the gist of it.
Oh man, I thought that was just me, my jaded self. I'll do that. I'll go watch. I'll watch maybe the She-Hulk spoiler before I watch the actual show.
The actual show.
To be like, don't want to watch it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll watch it tonight. It was good. I was happy again with episode 2. I feel like they did set up the idea that they may have set up the World War Hulk is going to be cool. Hulk Kids is going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. Showing Emil Blonsky, tying it into Shang-Chi. I think that's all going to be good stuff. So I know that was JJ said, I couldn't believe they let that one go down. You should go. Well, you'll see it. I mean, he was like, hey, is the cameras off? It just felt legitimate, and you missed that. And that was old school wrestling, right? It's just like, we got fan footage that happened to catch a fight in the parking lot, and it turned out to be Riddle. So that would have been my only note. They should have had one of the WWE producers on a phone and pretend they're a fan and just record that fist fight on your phone, because they had a camera there, right? And they were trying to set up the shot. I wish you would have just did it with a phone.
Throw folks to the social media to see the extra footage.
Yeah, I mean, you got Cloverfield. Everyone knows that when shit goes down there, everyone's going to hold up their phone, like you did in the Texas.
There will be
Chainsaw
so much footage of the end of the world.
Yeah,
when it happens.
Oh man,
it's like how everybody records fireworks.
Yeah, how many people go back and watch fireworks is the question. Cool, man. Well, I think that's a show. We got a lot. We still packed it in. We got 2 hours packed in. Today was a heavy lucha stuff. We got to still catch up. Rick and Morty new episode is dropping Sunday, season 6 premiere. I don't think you're caught up on that. And then House of the Dragon episode 3. Did you watch 1 yet?
I still have not watched it.
Oh man.
Lee's going good.
Lee's gonna call up angry again. Yeah, it was good. Spoiler, if you want to put a spoiler on there, but there was a little bit of a time jump.
Really?
There was a small time jump that was in there.
Okay.
And there's going to be something that is going to make people, I thought it was going to make people feel really uncomfortable. We're already kind of used to incest in Game of Thrones for whatever reason. I never thought I'd say that we're used to incest, but it's there, but they took it to another level.
Oh, okay.
And I got to tell you, man, Matt Smith is killing it as Damon. I think he is killing it. And they showed the big bad of this season is called the Crab Feeder. And he has a great look. I want him to be a wrestler. I want him to be a pro wrestler where he just feeds the crab. So I think you should. This is your chance. Jump on, because again, I know Lee's going to yell at you and say, go through the whole journey and watch all of Game of Thrones. But just go. You can start cold and watch these 2 episodes. That means you're only 2 hours away from victory. So worth doing that. See, yeah, episode 3 is going to be dropping this Sunday.
Sorry.
No, all good.
It's going for a dramatic music sting, and I blew it.
So cool. Yeah, that's all today. So thank you guys for watching here for our a lot of kayfabe content. We had some culture pops in there. No horror high spots. Although a shout out to Salem Cellar on Twitter. I think we got honorable mention in their poster contest.
What?
Yeah. So it was supposed to be find a poster. She does something called Salem Scavenger Hunt, and it's fun. You're supposed to find a poster with, and then she'll give you homework. So this one was find a poster with a clever log line on the poster. And that was, of course, Predator 2 was taken right away. He's in town with a few days to kill.
One of the best.
Yeah. So we got, I went with, there was a lot. I try to keep it with I try to stay away from the comedy. I try to stick in the horror, action type sci-fi genre, but I went with Kill Bill, Here Comes the Bride.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that was good.
So yeah, shout out to that. But yeah, that was fun. So I don't know how we pivoted to that. So yeah, that was our social media update at the very end.
Nice.
Cool. All right, JJ, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll get these all up, and we're gonna go home and we're gonna watch some AEW and watch a very passionate promo by CM Punk. So let's end it with, look in my eyes, what do you see? End.